Well, this certainly was not the video I thought I was going to be making, but here we are. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Vicky. I am a 25-year-old living in New York City, and a lot of my content surrounds running and fitness and everything in between. And I was training for the New York City Marathon, but I am no longer. And this video is all about the injury journey. So initially I had gotten a diagnosis of an adductor strain, and I thought it was gonna put me out of running for 2 weeks, and then I was gonna be back and ready to run this race. So I started filming a New York City Marathon training series called How to Train for a Marathon While You're Injured, because I didn't know the final diagnosis that I was going to get about 3 or 4 days later. So let me take it from the top, and this video is kind of gonna be a mashup of the videos that I did film and then talking about what has happened since then and just getting all of my thoughts out, because although I am looking like I'm smiling and I'm okay, I am truly so devastated and heartbroken, which you will see in this video. But essentially, in between the time that I was thinking I had an adductor strain, it was gonna come back in 2 weeks, until I got my imaging diagnosis, I was cross-training really hard because I didn't know what it was and I wasn't experiencing any pain. So he had told me, the doctor had told me I could go on the elliptical, I could bike, I could walk if it didn't hurt, I could focus on upper body and core. So I was like, awesome, I'll be back in no time. That is not the way that it went. So I'm gonna roll the clips. I kind of debated while I was editing if I should even include these when I thought I was gonna be able to come back. But I think it's important to just show the progression of everything that happened from when I got the injury to now. And it's really hard to watch, and there's a lot of tears towards the end, but I think it's just important to show the progression and also how difficult it can be to get healthcare in this country that's not super expensive and not super slow. So let's roll the clips of everything that happened from the day that I got my injury until I found out that I have to pull out of the New York City Marathon, and then we'll recap from there. We're starting off this episode with an injury. There is a lot to unpack. I did not think that I would be filming a video about the New York City Marathon and not be able to run, but that's where we are. So I'm going to give you everything that has happened, an update on where I'm at, and the go forward plan to hopefully get back into running as soon as I'm able to do so and get back into this marathon training plan. So let's just get right into it. On Monday morning, I wake up and I'm going to my regular endorphins run club run, and I head up there and I have this little bit of a twinge of a pain in my groin pelvic area, and I'm like, that's weird, so I'll keep an eye on it. And it's super easy paced mileage at endorphins, so I was like, I'm just gonna chill with the group and hope it kind of just works itself out. Being deep into marathon training, you kind of get these like pains and you're like, I don't know if that's like something I should look out for, or if it's just gonna go away. And most of the time it just kind of resolves itself. I have not experienced 1 ounce of pain this whole training cycle. I have never been in pain. Mentally, have I been in the pain cave? Absolutely. Of course my feet are gonna hurt at 20 miles, but like I have not experienced a pain where I'm like, that something's wrong. And so I was running with the group, and I was about 5 miles into this run, and I started to feel it a little bit more, and I was like, okay, something might be going on here. So we get to about 7.5 miles and we're wrapping up, and we stop to get some water, and as soon as I stop, I immediately feel, okay, something is really, really wrong. And so I kind of start stretching it out, and I'm not really sure exactly what to do with it. And I was like, this just does not feel right. So I normally run home from endorphins. So I started kind of jogging back to see if the jogging motion was going to irritate it more or less, because it was more prevalent when I was actually stopped and walking. And I could not run, period. I was in such a severe and immense amount of pain. I almost called my mom, like crying. I was in tears. I was like, not only in tears from the pain, but just in like the weight of knowing that I was in such severe pain and I couldn't run. That has never happened to me before, and it just came so far out of the blue, and I've just never experienced it before. I want to clear up something right off the bat, and that is my training progression and acknowledging the fact that I was deep into training and I was doing, in my opinion, along with the coaching that I've been receiving, I was doing all of the right things. I was sleeping, I was eating enough, I was recovering correctly, I was running my easy runs easy. I was increasing my mileage in a very healthy and sustainable way. If I look at my Strava graph, I pretty much have progressed from like 40 miles a week, which was my base before I started this training block. And on Sunday, I finished my highest mileage of this training, which was 60 miles a week. And I had progressed that, so I'd gone like 40, 42, 45, like, you know, all the way up the ladder. And at the end of my 60-mile week, I posted this Instagram story where I had gone for a 5-mile recovery run, and I said that I had never felt better, and my legs didn't even feel like I had ran 20 miles yesterday. I'm also gonna insert the clips all about my 20-miler because it was just such a confidence booster. 20 freaking miles done. 20. Such an insane number. I don't even know what to say. I did have, pulling it out of my sports bra, I had most of this gel. There's like maybe a quarter left. It got really gross when it got really hot. The flavor was fine. Wasn't a huge fan of the consistency. It was like kind of lumpy. I like the goo consistency better. But it did make me feel good, I think. Definitely didn't hurt my stomach, which was huge. And then I had some sodium tablets, salt sticks. I was gonna try this honey stinger, but then I realized how big that Science and Sport one was, so I missed that off. I will try that next week. And I had 2 full Spy Belt water bottles. I had one through like mile 10. We refilled, and then I finished another one. Actually, I had 3, because then I finished another, and I had to stay back home because I was too far away from the train. That was humbling. Feeling so good. I need to eat. I'm not even gonna shower before I eat. I don't care. So on Sunday, I finished that recovery run, and I was feeling incredible. I was like, I just came off a 20-mile run, 60 miles this week. I feel amazing. My legs were recovered. Like, that run was incredible. It was like 5 miles of pure bliss. So I get home and I'm struggling to like take off my running gear, get in the shower. I'm pretty panicky. And I'm like, I'm gonna ice. I'm gonna like do all of the things that I think you should do in this situation. I iced, I took ibuprofen, I put heat. I didn't really want to stretch it because I was like, I'm not sure what it is. And the pain was so strong in that moment, I couldn't even pinpoint exactly where the pain was. So my mom's on the West Coast, so I called her when she woke up because it was still pretty early in the morning. And I was like, I'm gonna go see a doctor as fast as I can. And that meant going to somebody that is out of network on my insurance, which is a whole other story. And I posted a full breakdown of the expenses that I have been incurring. I was able to see someone, and he did a very quick physical exam and boiled it down to an adductor strain. He said 2 weeks no running and go see a physical therapist as soon as you can. He was like, keep your core strength up, keep your upper body strength up, and keep your endurance up by cross-training in other ways. So go on the elliptical and get your heart rate going. You can do any other form of exercise that does not hurt you. I have let my goals for this race go out the window. If I had a time goal subconsciously in my mind, it's gone. I am just trying to finish this race without pain and be able to run pain-free for the rest of my life. I couldn't care less about if I cross this finish line in 6 hours, as long as I can run the other marathon that I'm signed up for in the spring. Spoiler alert, see you in London. But if that means I have to drop out of this race because we get a diagnosis of something more serious, then I have to drop out of this race. Is it mentally kind of killing me? A little bit, but I'm staying incredibly positive, especially until I get any sort of concrete diagnosis. I just don't want to go down the rabbit hole of what if this, what if that. It's not worth it. And in my mind, 2 weeks is gonna go by and I will have rested whatever is going on. I can rehab and I can come back strong and healthy. As long as this doesn't affect me long term, that's all I care about. I'm not going to sacrifice my entire running career just to run a singular race. And obviously every runner deals with an injury, and marathon training is no joke. It is high intensity. You're putting so much stress on your body, and even somebody who is prioritizing everything you could possibly do to not get injured still gets injured. I need to prioritize the strength training because that is something the last 3 weeks I have not prioritized, and I will admit to it. And I know some runners don't do any type of strength training, but at the beginning of my training block, I was doing consistent strength training 2 to 3 times a week, whether it be solid core or weights with Peloton. And the last 3 weeks I was traveling, I was doing so many other things, less focused on the strength training. So of course that could have had something to do with it. So I'm definitely prioritizing that again. So please enjoy this little vlog of how I'm training without running and complaining about the elliptical for the foreseeable future. Okay, we just did 45 minutes on the elliptical and then a 10-minute core class and the PT exercises that I was given yesterday. I have my first physical therapy appointment tomorrow, but my doctor that I saw gave me some in the meantime to just kind of like, I don't know, keep some things moving, and I found them really helpful. I was definitely like stiff this morning, and once I did those like exercises, I did the core class, and then I got on the elliptical, and I have a deal where if I feel any amount of pain, even if it's just like a pinch, I'm stopping. And I did not feel any pain on the elliptical, which gave me a lot of hope. And not that I was like losing hope, but it just gave me like the confidence boost of like, okay, if I can get on this elliptical, I can at least get the cardio in and get the heart rate up and moving like I would if I were running. And it's a really great supplement. So I'm really happy with how that went. And I'm walking right now. I've got no pain. I haven't even attempted the running motion because I'm like, I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna try when I'm told that I can. So I'm following all the doctor's orders and feeling really good. I'm gonna hop in the shower. Oh my gosh, I've had a day. I ended up having to take like a whole afternoon off of work. And I've just been to doctor's office on doctor's office. It is so frustrating because every doctor I've seen has been very kind and understanding, but just like the process of getting things done is so long. Essentially, I went to physical therapy this morning, and the PT I saw, he's incredible. He's recommended from a friend, and he wasn't so sure that the adductor was what was actually causing me pain, and he wanted to get a few things more checked out to rule out anything serious and just get the ball rolling on like a treatment plan. And so he recommended that I get imaging done as soon as possible. So I was supposed to not get imaging done until next Tuesday. And he's like, if there's anything you can do to get that earlier, like you're only gonna prolong the diagnosis at that point. So I called the doctor that I saw on Tuesday, and he was like, I think it's soon, but like, okay, if you want the imaging, you got, okay. So I have an MRI on Monday, and then I was able to get an x-ray today, and I'm hoping the x-ray will rule out any stress fractures, and then the MRI will tell me if there's anything torn or muscular. So it's just such a long process. I won't have the x-ray results probably until Monday either, and then I have a follow-up with the doctor on Tuesday. In the meantime, I'm still resting. I'm doing anything that can't cause me pain. It's just like so frustrating to not know, and it's just such a process, and mentally I'm in a good place right now, but it's just like the longer it goes on, the harder it gets. So that's where I'm at. Just a lot. There were so many things that happened today that I'm gonna spare you the details of just like back and forth, but what's done is done, and I'm doing everything that I can do in my control. I have some PT exercises that I can do in the meantime, and that's where we're at. I am finding it so incredibly difficult to get motivated to do cross training or any other form of exercise that's not running, because I don't know, it's just hard to like get in the zone of like, yes, I really want to go and get my heart rate up for an hour on an elliptical. I'm gonna watch some like either TV or YouTube while I'm at it. I was gonna do the bike, but I did the bike yesterday, so I'm trying to switch off. My physical therapist and doctor were like, do one day and one the other, just so you don't get sick of it, and it just switches it up, because the elliptical is great for the running motion and you're not putting any impact on your joints. But if you do it too much, like, it can probably affect your form long term. So I don't know, I'm just trying to get the cardio system engaged. So I need to spend like probably an hour in zone 3, 4 heart rate. It just doesn't sound super fun, but we're gonna get it done anyway. Okay, 40 minutes on the elliptical is done, and I also did a core class, and I was just sending a voice memo to a couple of my friends, and I was like, you know, I kind of woke up this morning and I was in a little bit of a mental funk, just really wanting to go for a run, and like nothing seems to hit the same. But although I didn't enjoy the elliptical, I still got that same like post heart rate cardiovascular endorphins rush that you get from finishing a run. Not as intense, but there's still something to be said for just like getting a really good sweat in, getting your heart rate up. I know a lot of people really enjoy low impact, more like weight training, etc. Not that weight training is really that low impact, but you know what I mean. Like Pilates, I love a good solid core class. I love Pilates. I love doing core work, but there's just something about getting your heart rate up and getting sweat on. So I'm just really happy that I went and did that. Although 40 minutes on the elliptical it's not the most fun. I watched a YouTube video, but it just felt so good to just get the sweat in, and it's helping me a lot mentally. So that is where we're at. I also went to go and pick up a little package. I ordered the new Apple Watch Ultra 2. After much consideration and deliberation, I honestly thought that this was going to come and I was going to be filming a Garmin to Apple Watch comparison video for running. We're changing course a little bit. I'm still going to do the comparison, but I've been missing an Apple Watch in the sense of being able to use it for responding to messages, etc. Just having that integration with my phone. I've been kind of missing that. When I'm on a run and my phone is in my pocket and I know I'm like getting a text about something, I miss being able to respond to those things. However, the Garmin data in terms of running and accuracy is just like unmatched. Heart rate zones, the GPS has been doing me a little bit dirty lately, so that's what I'm intrigued to see the difference on. But just like all of the actual activity features on the Garmin blow Apple out of the water. But I'm comparing that to my old Series 6 I think I had. I have not yet tried the Ultra. I know there's a ton of opinions on it, so I'm just trying to make my own. But I'm actually excited that it came today. I thought I was going to be kind of bummed because it's just like reminding me that I can't go for a run. But I'm excited to set it up, and I feel like I'll actually be able to use it as a lifestyle watch right now, given I can't run right now. And I'll still do a comparison because I can use it on the elliptical, I can use it on the Peloton. There's so many things I can still compare it to. It's just not specifically getting that like GPS data was really what I was looking for. So I'm still excited, and I'm gonna set it up today. And I thought that was a little bit of a mood booster, and I thought it was gonna be the opposite. So that's good. I just got back from my elliptical workout, but I went to endorphins this morning because Tyler had spine surgery and the rest of our New York City leads are in Berlin for the marathon. So I was the only New Yorker that was able to physically be at the event and make sure that everyone that was doing the long run was on their way. So I went to Washington Square Park. It was raining, but there was still a huge group that showed up. And I split them up into pace groups and sent them on their way. I think I maybe did like a wobble for about 20 seconds. And it was not necessarily painful, but uncomfortable. And I was just trying to get to the train. Got on the train, and then I went to the gym downstairs in my apartment, and I did an hour on the elliptical, which was a mental battle. Physically, I felt great. It was really good to keep the heart rate in that zone for that long because it's very similar to what I would have been doing today on my long run. And it was tough mentally, but I'm really glad that I did it. And then I did another core strength class. So I am feeling good about that. And I was in absolutely zero pain on the elliptical, which is really promising. So now I'm showered and just getting ready. And I will say that showing up to endorphins this morning and not being able to run was really tough mentally. But the endorphins that I got from the elliptical were very helpful. So that's the update and just how I'm feeling. It was definitely tough and like I had FOMO and I just wanted to be able to get out there. But I know that the rest is helping because I am not in as much pain as I was at the beginning of the week and it's progressively getting better. Good morning. It's Monday. We're not going to endorphins. It's kind of a weird Monday morning. We're gonna go get an MRI. I have only ever had an MRI once, and it was in high school when I had a back issue, and they were like looking at my discs, and I just remember it taking quite a while. And I luckily have not had to get contrast for an MRI, which is when they put like the dye in you. And so this MRI is also without contrast, which is great because it is much less stressful and scary overall. So I am getting ready for that right now. It's 6:10. I need to leave in about half an hour. It's up in Upper East Side at one of the hospitals here. So I'm just getting ready for that, and I'm just glad that I'm honestly doing this Monday morning. It's getting out of the way, and I'm hopefully gonna have some answers soon. My pain overall is progressively getting better, but it's definitely not subsided. But it does feel nice to know that I've been able to like exercise and it's not getting any worse. Because that was one of the things my PT said to look out for. It was like, look, if it's getting worse, you don't want to continue doing like the elliptical or the bike. So it's not getting worse. It's definitely helping to do the stretches. And overall, I'm feeling hopeful that it's nothing serious, which is what the imaging is going to rule out. It's also pouring rain and absolutely disgusting weather. And I haven't really done like a fall closet switching situation, so I need to like go and find a waterproof jacket and something to wear that isn't going to get wet. And I'm gonna bring an umbrella because I'm an Oregon girl and everyone says Oregonians don't use umbrellas. Well, guess what? I hate being wet and I will be using an umbrella, so I'm gonna bring that with me. After I get back, I'm hoping to have enough time to go on the bike. I think I'm kind of losing my mind on the elliptical. I think I went on it 3 times last week, maybe even 4, and it just gets extremely mundane. There's only so much like YouTube, podcasts, Peloton classes you can watch. So I think I'm gonna do the bike this morning to help with that me going insane. Technically, I need to update my FTP test on the Peloton bike. I haven't done one in a while and I've been using the Power Zone rides, and I have a feeling that my Power Zones are not quite accurate just because I haven't taken one since starting marathon training, and I do feel like my endurance is probably a little bit better than what it was when I started. So I'm thinking I'm gonna redo that test sometime, but it is not fun to do that. So maybe we'll do that this week. I'm about to get ready. I'm gonna eat breakfast and then head to the hospital. Okay, made it home from the MRI. I got myself a little Starbucks on the way home, just, you know, a little treat. And it's like 8:45. It actually was really quick. The MRI took less time than the commute time because it was up in Upper East Side. So it took me like 30 minutes to get there on the train and 30 minutes to get home, and then I stopped at Starbucks. So it was quick. It was an easy process, not the most pleasant experience to like lay in a metal tube and have a lot of loud noises at you, but it was fine and it's done now, and I'm hoping to have the results in a few days. So we'll keep you all posted on that. I'm currently laying on the ground doing my PT exercises because I'm a good patient. But I just wanted to give an update that if you're injured, you're not gonna get better unless you do what is prescribed. So I'm currently doing this like single leg. It's the weirdest angle. I'm doing this like single leg. You kind of like dig this part into the couch and then you raise your tailbone. It definitely hurts a little bit, but it's like not unbearable. And I just do whatever I can, and then I switch to the next one. So much fun I'm having doing these. Well, this is sure not the video I thought I was gonna be filming, but I just got back from the doctor and my MRI came back and I do have a stress fracture in my pubic bone and I can't run for 6 to 8 weeks. Definitely can't run the marathon. I just have to rest it, and there's no rhyme or reason as to why like this happened. I mean, like obviously we know what causes stress fractures, like overuse of something, but I had no pain and like no indication of this once throughout training. It really sucks because I felt like I was just like gonna absolutely crush it, and it's just really, really tough news to hear. I can't believe I'm crying on the internet like this. I know this is probably really dramatic, but I'm not trying to be dramatic. It's just like news that hits you like that. And like you realize that your goal that you've been working towards for weeks on end is just taken from you. And yeah, it just sucks really, really bad. I don't really have anything else to say at the moment. I'm just trying to like deal with the information and figure out my emotions, but it's a lot right now and it sucks really bad. So when I'm competent and not crying, I'll come back with a better update. So the last clip you probably saw is me crying right here, finding out that I have a non-adductor strain and my pubic bone is fractured. So that means that I am out for 6 to 8 weeks and I cannot run the New York City Marathon. And I've since pulled out of the race, and it is one of the most devastating and disappointing things that I've had to deal with in a very long time. And I think I am lucky enough to be surrounded by a community of runners and of people who get it and understand like the pure heartbreak that I experienced that day. There has been so many tears since that clip. So many emotions. I am truly so heartbroken. This is probably the most put together that I've looked in the past few days. I'm frustrated. There's just so many emotions that are going on, but I just wanted to show all of that progression because I don't want to discount all of the training that I've done and how seriously that I was taking training for this marathon. And it really sucks because I didn't have any warning signs of a stress fracture. My blood work is healthy. Everything came back that should have come back with a warning sign, and there were none. I'm grateful to be able to walk now. I can definitely go on the bike without pain. I'm staying off the elliptical for now. This is all per doctor's orders. I'm resting it as much as I can. I'm barely even walking when I don't have to. If I start experiencing pain while I walk, I will be getting on crutches. But I think the most devastating part is just how hard I trained for this and it being taken away from me. It's just a lot to deal with, and there's no like fixing it now, and I'm just trying to have my eyes on coming back stronger, but it's also really hard to think about coming back when you can't do the thing that you love. I have been cleared to go on the bike and I've been cleared to swim. So that's been keeping me a little bit busier and just trying to like have some sense of normalcy. But when you go from 100 to 0 so quickly, it can really mess with you, and the mental effects are definitely setting in. I'm having a really hard time just like getting motivated to do anything, And it's just really thrown me for a loop. And I'm super thankful for everyone's comments and this entire community of just love and support. I've never felt so much love and support since finding out this news. And I'm so grateful for everybody's advice. I'm hearing so many stories of runners who have come back from an injury, and I know that I will come back. I just think the timing of it, having it be so close to the race, like I was about to taper and I was so close, and it's just been ripped away. I have my eyes set on London 2024, so that is really keeping me going at the moment, but it's really, really hard right now. So I just wanted to post this whole kind of experience to kind of just, how many times can I say kind of? I don't know. I just wanted to get this out there and give everybody an update on everything that's happened, because it's been a wild ride in this healthcare system. You just never know what's going to happen. And I will say two things is listen to your body and advocate for yourself in a doctor's office, because if I had tried to come back in 2 weeks, like the initial doctor had told me with the adductor strain, I would have severely damaged this bone that was already fractured. I probably would have broken it all the way through. It would have not healed in 2 weeks, and I would have been even more screwed. And I probably wouldn't be able to come back for months. It wouldn't be weeks, it would be months. So I had to fight for that imaging because of my incredible physical therapist here that told me, you need to get imaging. I don't think this is what the doctor said it was. And that's not to discount the doctor. I understand that there are policies and procedures, and he probably wouldn't jump to a stress fracture right away. Who would? I sure didn't. And so you do have to advocate for yourself and just listen to your body. I knew something was wrong that day. I had not experienced any type of warning sign or pain about this injury until that Monday morning. It's just been really difficult, but I just want to say that when you know something is wrong, you know something's wrong, and you have to advocate for yourself in that doctor's office, as scary as it can be. Especially also to just lean on your community. I'm so grateful for everybody who has reached out. This will not be the last of the marathon training though. I may not be running a marathon in a month, but I am running a marathon in April. I've got my eyes set on London. And in the meantime, we're gonna try out some swimming and hopefully get some biking done on the Peloton. I'm waiting it out. I'm gonna wait another probably week or so until I start really getting into any type of big exercise, just because I don't wanna push it and I want it to heal. So I'm not really walking. I'm staying off of it as much as I can. I'm icing. I'm trying to reduce the inflammation and just do everything that my PT has told me and continue to do these exercises. But that concludes my New York City Marathon training series, but the training will still continue. It's just not going to be for New York City. And I so appreciate everybody's love and support, and I will be sure to update you all on how the injury is progressing, because the comeback series is gonna be a good one. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next video, and I will see you very soon.